How the fuck do I learn callouts? Hey, what's up guys, Irish Turtle here, and in today's video I want to talk to you guys about learning the callouts in Siege. Now basically I'm going to hopefully give you guys a couple of quick tips to improve your callouts in Siege. Now the reason I'm doing this video just as a quick backstory is because I've noticed since Christmas a lot of people don't seem to know the callouts in Siege and the room locations, and I thought I'd just briefly cover it because it's a big issue. And it's been around since the launch of the game, and it kind of started to disappear, and it's returned again. And I've noticed even more now, things like diamond rank players don't know proper callouts, and it becomes an absolute nightmare. So with that being said, let's jump into the tips. I'm going to start off with some really obvious ones. So the first tip is the room indicator. Now this is something that has been there forever. If you don't know about this, realistically, I'm thinking what the fuck is wrong with you. But at the bottom of the screen where the I'm indicating for you guys with an arrow, there is a room name like call out thing on the screen for you. It actually tells you what room you're in. Now this you need to start looking at. If you don't know the names of the rooms, start using this because it's really important to know where you are at all times. I mean, how many times have you seen this before where a teammate dies, you go, where are you, or what room were you in, and they go, oh, I don't know, or it's like, well, what room were they in, and it's like, oh, I don't know. And basically, people don't know the room callouts because they're not paying attention to this. And it literally takes half a second. You glance down, you look at the name, you look back up, and then mentally you know exactly where you are. And this is something really important to do because once you've learned the rooms, you can then start to make a bit more better callouts. You can say things because if I make a call out and say, oh, he's there, the rest of my team aren't going to really know what I'm on about because it's a vague call out, and it's really important to learn that you have to start defining things a lot better. Because then once you've done that, you can then start to indicate things with the compass as well. So it's things like, okay, if I walk into this kitchen, I know that there's a door on the south side, there's a door on the north side, and I can say things like, okay, like, you know, kitchen, north door. And your team know sort of a bit better where they are in the room. And again, it's things like northeast corner, northwest corner, things like that. Basically help your team out by learning the callouts, and then you can use even more detailed callouts to give specific locations. Because at the minute, a lot of players don't know these things, and it really struggle to like work as a team if people are making the most vague shit callouts you've ever heard. Honestly, if I keep hearing the word, oh, he's there, I swear to God, I'm going to fucking shoot somebody on my team the next time they do it. But yeah, so like I said, start learning the indicators at the bottom. Literally a couple of seconds, just glance down, glance back up, and you'll start to learn the rooms, even subconsciously. Now, the next tip I have is, you know, start like using the call-outs and then use abbreviations. So once you've got a call-out sorted, you can then start to abbreviate them and make them shorter, because you have to remember Siege is a very quick game. So when somebody says to me on screen who knows the call-outs, oh, he's in the upstairs kitchen in the north corner, sat next to the table, you're like, I didn't really need that. I just need like a room and a location, and that's it. I don't need details of the room. So start to learn abbreviations. So things like on house, you've got kids' bedroom, you know, you've got workshop, you've got master bedroom, you've got front stairs, you've got back stairs, you've got kitchen stairs. The point is you learn these callouts and you learn them quickly and then start to abbreviate them. So you've got back stairs. Back stairs on house is obviously the stairs that go from the top of the house to the basement. And if you're saying things like back stairs upper, again, it means they're on the top section of the back stairs, so your teammates know where they are. Now, if you can start doing these detailed callouts, it really, really helps your team out, and you'll start to make better plays. Oh, you fucking computer. You'll start to make better plays. Now, I do want to point out that obviously when you're doing these sorts of things, it's important to remember if you've made custom callouts with your team, make sure that you can revert to standard callouts if you're not playing with your team. One of the best things I ever noticed when I was playing a ranked game was this guy on my team made a call-out, I think it was something like squeaky stairs. And obviously him and his teammates had made some sort of joke call-out or some sort of call-outs between them that made sense to them. But to me, that makes no sense. So when you're making call-outs, remember, either make them universal or make sure when you're using them, you're with the team that you've made them with. Because otherwise it doesn't help anyone else. Now, the next tip I have for you guys is for helping you learn the call-outs and the room locations. I can imagine while talking about this, a lot of you guys have sort of sat there and said, well, It's all well and good looking down at the map while you're playing and looking down at the indicator, but that takes a couple of seconds from my screen time and I might die. And you know what? That is true. So I'm going to try and give you guys a quick little tip now on how to actually, effectively and efficiently learn room names so you can start making callouts. Now, I can't take credit for this idea. A friend of mine actually suggested this to me because we were talking about the fact that when I do my map videos where I sort of give you locations on stuff, I found that I would learn the maps quite quickly, but I wouldn't always learn the room callouts as effectively. And he basically said there's an easy way you can fix this. Now, what you need to do for this is essentially you create a little game with yourselves in custom where you force yourself to go to each room and learn the name of each room. So, for example, we're going to take house, which obviously doesn't need a lot of explaining, but basically, if we're talking about house, what you do is you go through all the rooms in the house and you write down either on a notepad or on Word or something each name of each room. Basically, what you're doing is, because you're doing that, you then have to physically sort of give a location, a name, and it sticks in your head. Then what you do is you take all of those words for each of the rooms, each name, of each room, and you put them into a random choice tool. I'm actually going to leave a link to the description to one you can use. But what you do is you put all of them into this tool, and then you click random choice. And basically what you do is once you start the game, you hit random choice, it gives you the name of a room, and you then have to run to that room within a set amount of time. So on a house, say like 15 seconds. So you have to pick a fast operator and you just run to that room as fast as you can. Then once you're in that room, you hit the random choice again and it gives you a new room. You then have to get from that room to the new room within the allotted amount of time. Essentially what you start doing is as you're doing this, you're subconsciously then developing links to each of the rooms so you can get around faster, but you're also then forcing yourself to learn the room names because you have to get to that room. So obviously on things like Consular, if you're going from the archive room right up to the tellers, again, you've got to learn you've got to learn where those rooms are generally, but you also have to learn their names because you're going off of the names in the random choice generator. So it works really, really well. It's a really effective method for learning the names of each place. I actually have to say personally, it really, really improved my ability to learn each room, because if you're struggling, that is a really good method. Obviously, if you know the callouts, this isn't going to help you, but generally, this really improves your ability to learn each location. And now, my final tip for callouts is start actually talking. Like literally, this is something that it seems really redundant to say, but if you're making callouts or you want to start making callouts, you need to start using your microphone. You need to start getting confident. Now, I know this is going to sound really odd as a tip to improving callouts, but talking, it's really interesting to see when a player obviously doesn't like communicating and they try and speak. And it's a really odd thing, but you need to start getting comfortable with talking to people. It obviously seems like a really inept thing, and obviously I imagine a lot of you guys do this, but you need to start having confidence. If you're making a call out, make sure you sound confident when you're making it. If you sound like you're unsure, your teammate isn't going to be sure either, and they're not going to trust your call out. So you need to develop confidence in your call outs. Essentially, if I'm saying something like, okay, he's in the garage, he's under the white car, you need to be sure that what I'm saying is correct. I need to make sure what I'm saying sounds like I'm sure. It's a really key thing to do, because I can't tell you again how often it happens where you'll be on a map and somebody will say, oh, okay, like Consular, he'll be like, he's in the garage and he's next to the white van, but they say it like they're not really sure. So then when I'm going into the room, I'm actually not really thinking, okay, they might be there, but they might be somewhere else because this guy doesn't seem like he's sure. And essentially, you just need to make sure you sound confident. Confidence improves a call out no end because it makes the other person feel confident and they can then carry out the kill because they're obviously confident in your ability to give them information. If you're giving vague call-outs and you're not sounding sure, no one's going to listen to you. So it's important to remember, improve that level of communication. And again, if you're with friends, obviously it's a little bit less important because they know how you sound. But when it comes to strangers, confidence is really, really key. But other than that, guys, those are my quick little tips. Obviously, you know, if you have any tips of your own for improving callouts or just how to learn callouts in general, feel free to leave them in the comments below. I'm interested to see what other methods people have developed. Obviously, if you enjoyed the video or found it helpful in any way, shape or form, hit that like button, subscribe for more Rainbow Six Siege content if you haven't already, turn on the notifications, and I'll see you in the next one.